The Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast. Real Doctor Who fans with real Doctor Who opinions.
Hello and welcome to the Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast, episode 334 of the podcast. I am Brett, and this is yet again a solo edition of the podcast, but still super exciting because we're talking about a show that we love, about some news that is coming out in the classic era of Doctor Who, as well as some news relating to Big Finish Productions, and also I'll be focusing on the iconic Third Doctor, exploring his adventures, the companions, memorable moments that made this era such a beloved part of Doctor Who history. So grab your sonic screwdriver, settle in, and let's embark on a journey through time and space. Yes, I was so riveted. This morning I woke up to possibly some people shooting off some fireworks earlier than they probably should have, but it led me to turning on to my YouTube, and I found the exciting news of season 25, Sylvester McCoy's second season as a Doctor, Blu-ray announcement. It had just been about 20 minutes fresh from the time that I saw it. And, you know, one of the things I like about I have not seen all of the trailers for all of the, Blu-ray era release stuff. But one of the things I liked about it was they used scenes from the season 25 as their trailer to add excitement. You do have that one Colin Baker one where, Perry is locked inside a dungeon and, she's, forced to marry Brian Blessed and stuff like that. It's fun, it's quirky or whatever, but I like the fact that they used the classic era video and then interwove it with some people who were talking to you about the show and what is on the Blu-ray. So I'm going to break into that, and not into song, though, because obviously I don't have Legion here, so there will be no breaking into of song. But I'm going to go through a couple things regarding the latest Doctor Who news and discussion. This is not going to be a 15th Doctor or ratings discussion. This is just going to be classic era, and, well, I take that back. I will probably say something about that, but it's not going to take that long, because I do think it's kind of important and why I think I'm struggling at certain points regarding this the past couple of years of New Who. But yeah, so I'm going to get into that, as well as after the Big Finish stuff, I'm going to go into an article that I saw that I'm really excited for, because this was on doctorwho.tv.co.uk. It is entitled A Love Letter to the Third Doctor Era. Now, I'm not going to go over all of it, but I think that there's certain things that I really would like to discuss, because the Third Doctor era is perhaps my favorite era out of them all. Even though the Fourth Doctor, I like him a lot more, I find the Third Doctor era is my favorite era of all of Who. And so I'll be discussing my thoughts and feelings regarding this article, as well as other random tidbits of bips and bobs and whatnot. So with that being said, I actually want to start off with this fact right here that I found really quite interesting on the Facebook fan page of Doctor Who. And it was discussing that the BBC iPlayer made, at some point in time, and the discussion was not sure when it happened, but at one point in time, on the BBC iPlayer, since they've loaded up all of Classic Who on there, the category was Classic Who from 1963 to 1989. And I totally agree from that. From, Unearthly Child to Survival, I feel as though that is, the classic era right there. It's all 26 seasons. And then you have this and that here or sprinkled here and there. However, at some point in time, they changed the, I guess you could say, catalog dates to 1963 and ending at 1996. So now they are including the TV movie. And I think that's kind of an interesting thing. I was reading a whole bunch of things regarding that. And at least on this fan page. And for me personally, I've noticed, on Twitter, a lot of people who follow the Doctor Who Alhambra podcast, and some people that I follow and don't follow back me, but you know what? Not the least bit irked at that at all. Actually, not really. But one of the things is people in their bios kind of put where their Doctor Who eras go. Generally you have some people 2005 to present. Some people are 2005 to 2017. You have 2005 to, some of them have been kind of put off by the RTD Part 2 special, so about 2022-ish. And then you have, the more likely, you have 1963 too, and then this is where everything varies. And I think it's quite interesting to see people's love and, support of either the whole thing, 1996 to present, or you have the 1996 to 1989, meaning basically only the classic era, TV movie, cast aside, not important to me, not canon whatsoever. Then you have certain people to basically, I guess you could say 2004-ish, so they do count that in. They might even have the Scream of the Shalka and whatnot, and some of the probably BBC audio dramas that were released at that time too. So I like how everybody, and this is, and previously in around the episode 100 of the podcast, we discussed about, toxic fans and, how whatever. And again, at the time, I was kind of agreeing with the idea of toxic fandom, even though fan is short for fanatic, and people who love something, who are passionate about something, are fanatical about it, and it can be read as toxic. Now, I think the problem with people being labeled toxic is if you discount what they like, if I cut it off at 2017, well, then it's, you're sexist, misogynist because you're discounting or ignoring the first female Doctor. Okay, if you cut it off at 2022, you are discounting the first Black Doctor. And I feel as though I think we're taking it way too seriously. People's likes and dislikes. People can like whatever they'd like. That they should not be labeled. Like, I think labeling people is very dangerous, in all honesty, because that discounts them. That basically slights. You have every right to like what you like and not. There's a Twitter group that loves and only people that are allowed into the group or to this follow thing is anybody who likes the David Tennant episode Fear Her. I think that is probably one of the worst, not the worst, but one of the worst episodes of Doctor Who. And I have every right to feel that way. There is a group that absolutely loves it, and they talk about it, and you know what? Good for them. Good for them. And so, and the reason why I say I'm not sure I want to, where I want to cut off New Who, and I am going to talk about New Who here, because I think it's kind of an interesting discussion because of what the BBC iPlayer has done for the classic era, changing the dates, which means that you're kind of changing this and that. And I kind of like that they're accepting the TV movie. I'm also kind of, scratching my head. But of course, when you think about what the most recent season of Doctor Who has done, they included the Shalka Doctor. I mean, I'd love to hear that conversation. Oh yeah, my dear, remember that was me when I regenerated into a cartoon Flash animation style Doctor. And also the entire world was Flash animation. But that's besides the point, my dear. Anyway, I think it's just kind of funny that was a thing. I think I do own, I think I still own the Scream of the Shalka. I know I bought it twice. I know I sold it once for like 3 times as much as I bought it for, but whatever. Anyway, so this is my one and only discussion of New Who, because I think it is interesting where the BBC iPlayer has deemed classic Who to new Who. And for me, and people have their right to have cutoff dates. And as I was looking at a couple things, as I've been thinking about Doctor Who, my love of Doctor Who, my struggle to love Doctor Who at times, I do think that not everything is created equal. I do think that there's certain, you can cut certain things off and be fine with it. And I have had struggles, I know we kind of talked we didn't force him. I mean, we could have just, broken into Liam's flat, tied him duct taped him to a chair, duct tape his eyes, or his, duct tape, what do I want to say? Duct tape headphones to his head and force him to listen to the Flux because he was completely out on it. He eventually caved, and we did a special podcast, which I thoroughly do love listening to, because he wanted to just, go over the Flux in like 3 minutes or less. And I think it was about an hour or so. I absolutely love that. So anyway, and for me personally, I find, and, at the time I kind of found it irksome that he gave up, but the oddity that, and the struggle that we had during Flux, the Timeless Child, the whatever that happened to the Doctor, the Doctor's origin changing or whatever, that really, I really struggled with that a lot. And then when we had the bi-regeneration, and now that there's multiple Doctors running around doing stuff, I really hated that. And that we had this whole memory TARDIS thing, which I still don't know. I know Liam gave me the audios for that because it is only exclusive to the BBC iPlayer. And so it's funny that they kind of are trying to canonize something that is only available in one country. So that doesn't make sense. I mean, that's why I think you can kind of struggle to canonize book ranges that kind of do their own thing, as well as canonize comics and Big Finish audios. I think there is a struggle to do those things. However, in saying that, I think I've come up with, I'm not done with New Who, but I'm stepping away because RTD doubled down Chris Chibnall's Timeless Child. I think the Timeless Child was an awful idea. I think creating a forced multi-Doctor story, nothing against the actress who plays the Ruth Doctor, but I feel as though he wanted to do a multi-Doctor story. Matt Smith wasn't coming back. Peter Capaldi's not coming back. It wasn't special enough possibly to get David Tennant back. And so he self-created the Ruth Doctor just to get a multi-Doctor story in. And I think that's kind of, again, sloppy writing. I like the next Doctor where it was almost like, oh my gosh, is there a missing Doctor? Is there a hidden Doctor? You could have said that Chris Chibnall kind of, copied RTD's homework in that special, but still, I would rather prefer it be either a renegade Time Lord or the Master or the Ronnie or the meddling monk or somebody that we haven't met from Gallifrey before. Anybody except for what it ended up being. Because again, I think it devalues the Doctor's regeneration. It devalues 1963. It devalues, I don't know. And so for me personally, for New Who, I'm taking a step away from New Who. It's not that it's not part of canon, but I will tell you right now, I find Big Finish Productions, their audio dramas, more canon than what we've gotten on TV since around whenever, I think Jodie's second season, series 12. I think that's kind of like where my struggle really firmly began, and it just continued. So about 2018 and beyond, I'm going to step away from that era. I've made mention that I will not purchase or pick up the Call Me Master featuring Sacha Dhawan. I will not pick up the Ruth, the Fugitive Doctor, because I don't like The Timeless Child. I don't like what's going on, and I'm not discounting it, but it's currently just not bringing me joy. And again, Doctor Who should bring me joy, and I refuse to hate watch. I could start and turn this into a massive YouTube channel and start hate watching and, pick things apart. That is not how I'm built. I want to love the things I want to watch. That's why I kept on rewatching, watching Flux. I was waiting for it to get better. I was waiting for a fix to The Timeless Child. And when it never came, and then RTD doubled down, well, everybody has their breaking points. And I'm, and I listen to Star Wars fans, and a lot of them, because of the sequel trilogy, they are completely out on Star Wars, because now whenever they see Luke Skywalker on the original trilogy, they see him as an old fuddy-duddy, for lack of a better word, drinking blue alien udder milk, and see what happened, have Harrison Ford's Han Solo die. And so some people have completely lost their love of Star Wars. For me, I don't love Star Wars, but what I've done, and here's the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, is I have found the Dark Horse era of comics so enjoyable. And they take place in between, A New Hope and Empire, between Empire and Return, and then some take place after Return. That's my era. I don't think I could ever really firmly love anything else. So for me, I don't think it's that big of a deal to still love the show, but just have a time frame. And, it's not going to be bouncing around my head. The only thing that will be bouncing around my head is I hope the show returns to form and to honor the past as it should be. Maybe you could disagree with me. You could say, hey, I think that the show currently is honoring the past. And if you do, good. But I think for my thorough enjoyment of, my continual enjoyment of Doctor Who, I need to let the new series just drop out of my life, and I need to find happiness. And the classic era, 1996, not a big fan of the TV movie, but it did give us Paul McGann. Love that. And so I'm, listening to the classic Big Finish Doctors going forward. And if certain things from the new series start popping up, won't pick them up. Maybe I'll do it for Big Finish Miss if they ever have a $3 sale or something like that, because that's the only way that's going to happen. If they decide to discount some of the new series stuff, and I don't mean the 10th, 11th, 12th Doctors stuff at $3. I'm talking beyond. When they do the whole Short Trips box set 1, 2, 3, and 4, every single Big Finish Miss, that would be the only way that I'd pick those up as the show stands today. If the show changes, I know Liam is always saying, well, the show changes and evolves. Yeah, but I feel as though currently the show has changed and evolved to something I don't recognize. And I think it's currently not enjoyable. So I want to watch the show that I love that is enjoyable. And so long story short, I thought it was a really interesting change on the BBC iPlayer, discussing people's likes and dislikes and where I currently am. And I think that's why I'm also struggling to give a review for Shooty's first season. Is first off, I haven't watched it all. And second, it's some of the things I don't like. But that being said, I'm going to go to the latest Big Finish news, which was announced the 2nd of July. And this is entitled Doctor Who, The Stuff of Legend, live. Paul McGann and India Fisher to star in a special one-off live recording. That's kind of interesting. Of a brand new 8th Doctor adventure. This will feature the voice talents of obviously Paul McGann, India Fisher, who will be the Doctor, and Charlotte Pollard. You have Nick Briggs as the Daleks and Alex McQueen as the Master. So we finally have Alex McQueen back. It has been a while since we've had Alex McQueen as the Master. And I like this because not only is this exciting, but also kind of, celebrates something else that I'll get into in a little bit later. So it says, to celebrate the 25th anniversary of licensed Doctor Who audio dramas, Big Finish Theatre, in partnership with Big Finish Studios, Fourth Wall Live, and AEG, is proud to announce a unique full cast live recording taking place at Cadogan Hall, probably mispronounced that, London, on Saturday, 14th of September, 2024. For the very first time, Doctor Who fans will be able to watch an all-star cast take the stage to perform a brand new audio play, The Stuff of Legend, by Robert Ballantyne. Leading the cast is Paul McGann as the 8th Doctor and India Fisher as the indomitable companion Charlotte Pollard. They'll be joined on stage by Alex McQueen as the Master, alongside Nicholas Briggs, who voices the Doctor's unstoppable archenemy, the Daleks. And here is the synopsis for this. It is, something is afoot in the lonely Cornish village of Marianmaid Bay. Probably mispronounced that too. Rumors of dead men working in tin mines have sent a chill through the community, and it is up to the Doctor and Charlie to get to the bottom of this mystery. Can the legends of the Buka, I think that's how it's, Buka that haunts the mines be true? And just what just what awesome, that's a different word altogether. And just what awesome power do the Daleks' greatest enemies, the Daleks, ! Threaten to lead upon the universe. So, according to this, tickets will be available at www.doctorwhoaudiolive.com for 10, I think probably p.m. UK time starting on the 5th of July, I guess, prices being £18. So this is quite interesting. I'm very excited to see this. And then, of course, we do have simultaneously to the live stage show, the full cast studio production of Doctor Who Stuff of Legends will be released on the 14th of September, 2024. Big Finish listeners can pre-order the adventures now for just $15.99 for a special collector's edition double CD and download, or £12.99 for download only. Exclusively here, this will be available to purchase as a collector's edition at the event too. All right. I wonder if they're using Spaceballs technology, instant CDs. The CDs are available before the audio is fully recorded. Anyway, I think this is very exciting. I'm just going to click right here, Stuff of Legends, just to see what it is. I'm curious if there's going to be no international shipping, but just kind of a pre-order fee. I'm just, because I don't know why I've been semi-consumed with that. Oh, look at that. For international shipping, again, just like the Sirens of Time, it is postage and packaging, $3.89 per order charge. So not a pre-order charge. Per order charge is $6.38. So I could get the studio version of this CD for a total of $30. And I won't pick that up. What is the limit? Just out of curiosity. All it says is studio version of this. It doesn't say that there's limited. I do like that there's number of discs too. Duration is 90 minutes. And that could be quite interesting. I'm not going to rule out not picking it up, but I'm also not going to jump in and pick it up myself too. But yeah, I wish I lived in London. that I would be able to watch this live. According to this will be the first live time that, or the first time that the Doctor Who has been produced live since on stage since 1989. That's what it says right here. Anyway, so very exciting about that. I do look forward for that release. I think that there's a lot of super cool stuff that is on their way. Also, additionally, came out on the 3rd of July 2024 is more news finally about the Susan family ties. So this is the Susan War box set 2 and 3. The first story is The Lost Son, which guest stars Sonny or Paul McGann's son, who was Jake the last time we heard him, as Alex Campbell, Susan's son. Alex was introduced in the 8th Doctor Adventure range. Again, don't mean to bring this up, but this is why, and I think I made a comment about this, Big Finish it is constantly getting bullied by Doctor Who, and this is why I feel as though Big Finish is more canon than New Who, is because Big Finish is constantly like the younger sibling trying to look what we can do, guys. Look what we can do. Look what we added to the Doctor Who canon. And Doctor Who, the BBC conglomeration, kind of looks at that and goes, "That's cute. Anyway, we're going to go do our own thing. Oh wait, by the way, would you please send us a list of villains that you plan on be using? And because if you are, we will nix that idea immediately because our show is better than yours, and you do not deserve to have what we want." So, I think that is the other thing regarding the BBC and Big Finish. And like I said earlier, I see Big Finish as more canon than the new series of Doctor Who, especially starting probably about 2018 or so. So, and the reason that brought that up is because of the use of Mel, the possible use. So everybody's speculating that this, Susan triad was, the Doctor's daughter or granddaughter Susan. And so it's almost like the new series wants to shout out to the classic series, but they also don't at the same time. And so I feel as though it's kind of like, either a big brother or a little brother trying to, live up to, and, copying and doing all the things to show the big brother, hey, look what we're doing. Or it's an abusive relationship where they're just like, yeah, whatever, backhand. So also returning in Susan's War are Damon Lynch as Rasmus and Beth Chalmers as Veclan. Okay, that's cool. The two Time Lord allies of Susan. That'll be interesting. I am excited for this release. I'm more excited for, I can't remember which one I'm more excited for the first one or the second one. I'm just going to click on that right there. So the first one is Lost Son, Sarah Cassidy. Oh no, it is the second box set or the third box set that Susan's War Grandfather Time, because we have, I like the Last of the Collards by David Llewellyn and the Vord Alliance. That right there. Both of those. David Llewellyn, also Andrew Smith. So known talent. We have Sarah Cassidy, who I'm not sure, but whatever. And then the Golden Child by Peter Ankelides, who did the Four Doctors, which I absolutely love. Script editor is Matt Fitton. So, yeah. And I mean, the only concern I have about script editor Matt Fitton is just I don't think good once and future box set. But again, it was done during lockdown. We could say that it was just more or less a celebration, and it was just a box ticking, thing to make sure that we shouted out so many things for the 60th anniversary of the show. So you could say that. I will say most of it was not good. All right. So that is the Big Finish news. Now moving on to the Doctor Who news, and that is the announcement of the latest release of the Doctor Who Blu-ray. But before I get into that, I have to actually, look myself in the mirror and just say how disappointed I am in myself. Because as I was looking through this, I saw the announcement, and I know I don't have one of the Blu-rays. And as I started doing my checklist of all the Region 1 Blu-rays, I noticed something. I must have forgotten, or it totally, I actually just forgotten, because did not pick up the second season of Peter Davison, or season, what would that be, 21 of Peter Davis of Doctor Who. And the only reason why I say that is I don't have that in my collection anywhere. However, I'll tell you, this purchase is on Amazon is super sketchy, because it says it was released the 4th of June, 2024, but there's only one disc. And I'm not sure, according to this, people have it. And all right, I ordered this 8 months ago and it finally arrived. Okay. So it does exist. And according to somebody's unboxing video, it is a 9-disc set. Whoever put this order together on Amazon is lazy and didn't get around to it. But I can't believe I'm actually two whole Blu-rays behind. However, I'm gonna be fine with that, because again, I picked up the First Doctor second season Blu-ray release for about $20 on sale. Right now, the Peter Davison season 2 or season, is it 20 or 21? I can't remember. My DVDs are all the way across the room. Anyway, whatever it is. $53.48. I'm not dropping that on that. Currently, we have, and then it's going to be released in America on the 15th of July. And we have the Tom Baker complete season 4 box set, which, has, which one's it's the one that is before, my brain's not working today. I apologize. But yeah, I don't have that one. So that one is not released as of yet in Region 1 in America, and I find that okay. I personally think I could wait out both of them because they're not special editions, unlike the UK, which have special editions and are limited in release. And then when they press the second one, you will forever have second edition, kind of like Liam for the Tom Baker season 11 or 12. No, 12. It is 12. Season 12. And so he will forever have second edition, where Legion will not. He has just the first edition, and yeah, no stamp. So I distracted myself. So today, the July 4th, was announced the season 25 collection, the Sylvester McCoy's second season as the Doctor, the silver anniversary of Doctor Who. And this box set includes Remembrance of the Daleks, The Happiness Patrol, Silver Nemesis, and Greatest Show in the Galaxy. And I'll tell you, I think personally for me, there really is only one episode to really be excited for, and that's Remembrance of the Daleks. One of these days, I will get around to reading the novelization of that. Won't be today, won't be tomorrow, but it will be done sometime before Ben Affleck and his crew fail to stop an asteroid from hurling into Earth and wiping out all mankind. So it will happen, just not today and tomorrow. So it says the stories also feature Sophie Aldred, who played the iconic 80s companion Ace, who joins the Doctor to battle the Dalek Cybermen and a murderous Happiness Patrol and the evil forces of the Psychic Circus. Plus, fans can experience this season like never before, with brand new extended special editions of all 4 adventures exclusive to the Blu-ray set. The 4 special edition features unseen footage, updated special effects, immersive surround sound, and surprises. Oh, surprises. I don't think I like surprises. All episodes have been newly remastered from available sources, meaning these classic adventures have never looked or sounded so good on home media. So we have updated special effects exclusive to the Blu-ray on the original broadcast of Remembrance of the Daleks, The Silver Nemesis, and Greatest Show in the Galaxy. We have the Behind the Sofa featuring Sylvester McCoy, Sophie Aldred, who played Ace, Bonnie Langford, who played Mel, Nicola Bryant, who was Perry, Wendy Padbury, Zoe, Janet Fielding, Tegan, Sarah Sutton, Nissa, Dame Sheila Hancock, who was Helena A. I think that is, what's her face from Silver Nemesis. Jessica Martin, Mags, that is from the Psychic Circus, and then Karen Giddenhill, Allison, I don't know who she's from, and Mark Hardy, the Cyber Lieutenant. We have three new, it says In Conversations, 3 new episodes with Sophie Aldred, script editor Andrew Cartmel, and Christopher Clough. Anyway, Looking for Dursley, a documentary looking back at the life and career of Dursley McClendon, or Mike. And he is from the Brain Remembers the Daleks. They did show clips of that documentary on the YouTube video. We have Making of Doctor Who, a rare vintage documentary from 1988, previously only available on VHS. We have the VHS extended version of Silver Nemesis. We have the special edition omnibus version of Silver Nemesis in the tradition of the 1970s Christmas repeats. According to this, the collection, the 1980s, host Emily Cook chats to Doctor Who collectors about the 1980s treasures. A Doctor Who escape room. I think they've already done this escape room on one of them, so I think this is kind of a brand new thing that they're doing. We have Stephen Mansfield interview, and then location and studio footage. And then, of course, all the previously included special features on the DVD, including commentaries, featurettes, and much more. This collection will be released on the 21st of October, 2024 in the UK, available in America in probably September of 2027. So I'm not holding my breath for that, but I am excited for this, and I like that these Blu-rays are in box set forms, so it kind of saves shelf space. I currently am in the process of figuring out if I can purge. I already have in boxes my Blu-rays or my DVDs that are now on Blu-rays, and to trade them in at a secondhand Blu-ray media store. So I'm going to try to figure out if I can do that. I'll let you know if I can do that. So that's super exciting news. I will tell you, as I look at what I would like to see next, I think obviously I want season 7 of Doctor Who, which is John Pertwee's first season, which transitions me perfectly. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Good transition to the Doctor Who TV.co.uk love letter to the Third Doctor era. This was written in the 25th of September 2013, but because I just love the Third Doctor, I think it is very perfectly timed for me to accidentally run across this. So it says, the Third Doctor epoch was a winning formula. Viewers loved the newfangled setup, the recurring allies, the introduction of the Doctor's nemesis, the Master. In 2013, it's still beloved by many fans, myself most, the person who wrote this, so Harry Beckett. And it just talked about, what the Third Doctor era was. Obviously you had Unit. It started off with Liz, the Doctor's assistant. Liz left at the very end of the, not Planet of Fire, Inferno. Basically almost the same thing. And replaced by Jo, having somebody who was on the Doctor's level, which was Liz, going to Katie Manning's Jo, who was not. I know Jo kind of irks me from time to time. However, I will tell you, she has, grown on me during the process too. With Unit, we have the Brigadier, which again is such a fantastic character, created by Derek Sherwin back in the Invasion storyline. Yes, Invasion. No, Web of Fear. Sorry, take that back. The introduction of Mike Yates and Sergeant Benton were a good introduction, or continued on to help serve as additional cast and crew, which I feel as though helps the show be super strong also. I think the Master is, having the Master being the Doctor's Moriarty is fantastic. I do think, as you look at the second season or season 8 of Doctor Who, Terror of the Autons, Introduction of the Master, good. Mind of Evil, continuing on with the Master. Claws of Axos, we have Space Vampires with the Master. We have Colony in Space with the Master. Demons with the Master. So even though there's other villains in there, the second season of the Third Doctor, we constantly have so much Master stuff going on. Next, season 9, Day of the Daleks, no Master. Curse of Peladon, no Master. Sea Devils, we finally get them returning. Mutants, no. Time Monster, yes, as we conclude season 9. Season 10, we have the Three Doctors, no. And then the last time he makes his appearance is in the end of Frontier in Space, where we travel, and that is around the same time that Roger Delgado passes away due to an accident. So again, it is Master heavy, it is Unit heavy, but I think that it is really thoroughly enjoyable for me, with making it my favorite Doctor. And it just, depending on the time, depends on, is it my favorite era or not? Again, you start off with season 7, which again, season 7 is super strong. Spearhead from Space, probably one of the best Doctor Who Third Doctor episodes of all time. I would give, and why I'm super excited for the Big Finish release of the Lost Stories, because I would say probably the Third Doctor, or the Three Doctors, is, even though it is a celebration, it is a multi-Doctor story, I feel as though that is perhaps my favorite of them all. Nope, I take that back. Day of the Daleks is my favorite of them all, because that is like, the Terminator before Terminator 2 actually came out. Just fantastic story. So much to love about the Third Doctor. And one thing that I do, as I'm cruising through, they do this, they give honorable mentions to season 7 and season 11, because, this is, the introduction of Liz, but also season 11 is the introduction of Elizabeth Slaton's Sarah Jane Smith, which was a fan favorite for companion to the Fourth Doctor too. Now, the only thing that I really wish they would have done in this Doctor Who tv.co.uk article is I wish they would have shouted out, because I think that there's multiple people to shout out. First off, I think Terrence Dicks, script editor, needs to be a shout out. You cannot give a love letter to the Third Doctor era without Terrence Dicks. Script editing and also writing some of these stories, does fall on his shoulders. You also have the, extremely talented executive producer, the showrunner, Barry Alletts, throughout the entirety. And you can also give credit for how great Tom Baker's first season is as the Doctor, because of those two setting the Fourth Doctor up for success, even after they were ready to leave the show. You can also give credit to Bob Holmes, because he came on board. He did come on board during the Second Doctor era, but he really did a good job of, we got Terror of the Autons from Bob Holmes. We had Spearheads from Space, so he gave us the nesting consciousness, the Autons. Again, we have Malcolm Hulke, who, again, did some stuff with the Second Doctor, but I feel as though Malcolm Hulke is a consistent writer, and I think that's what Doctor Who needs, is a consistent writer with somebody who knows what they want to do and they love the character. Also, when you listen to old interviews with Terrence Dicks, though, it does come across that they were doing it just for a paycheck. And that's why there's so many fluffs. Or not fluffs, that would be on the actors. And that comes down to the BBC, just, one take is the best take. But you also have so much timey-wiminess and inconsistencies amongst canon, which again gave, I guess you could say, Chibnall license to do what he did. I disagree. That just because the classic era did stuff like that doesn't mean that you can have free range of destroying or altering canon, but that is just one guy's opinion. I do like, And then, of course, we finally get Terry Nation back with Planet of the Daleks, which is so similar to certain things, but I love Spiridon. I like that. Robert Holmes gives us the Centaurans, which is fantastic. And again, I think that the Third Doctor era, I would almost give the Third Doctor era my nod of thorough enjoyment almost over the Fourth Doctor era. And I know some people could get united out. Did not mean for that to come out like that or sound like that, but I said it, no take backsies. And yeah, so that is, I will include the hyperlink to this article, a love letter to the Third Doctor era, because again, I do love the Third Doctor era. I think that there's so much to be excited about, and there's so much to love too. What are your thoughts on the Blu-ray releases? What are your thoughts on where do you draw the line regarding, your eras of Doctor Who? Do you have 1963 to present? Do you have anything that you kind of have purged from your canon? Because again, I feel as though Doctor Who is a show for the fans and can be loved by the fans, but not everything has to be loved. And I think that is okay. I mean, we do have Legion who overly loves the Space Pirates, and we do have Liam who overly loves the Minuet in Hell. So, I mean, everybody can overly love something that is kind of sketchy. I love the Invasion of the Dinosaurs. It is it is kind of sketchy to some extent, but hey, I love it. So email the show at alhambraaudio@gmail.com. You can tweet the show at Alhambra Podcast. DMs are open. Until next time, I will see you in time.
You have been listening to the Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast. Doctor Who is owned and trademarked by the BBC. Doctor Who Alhambra is not affiliated with the BBC or Big Finish. No infringement is intended. Visit our website at alhambrapodcast.weebly.com or email the show at alhambraaudio@gmail.com. Tweet us at Alhambra Podcast. That is ALHAMBRA Podcast. Thank you.